Today we're going to continue our study in order of operations. Particularly, we are kind of going to be working backwards today. So sometimes on the MCAS, you might be asked to insert parentheses in order to make a statement true. Now remember that in PEMDAS, parentheses is always going to be first. So this means that whatever you put into parentheses will be done before anything else. Now, if you're trying to determine how to insert parentheses, as a problem might ask you, insert parentheses in order to make this true, you want to start by trying to simplify using PEMDAS and determine what would be done first. Then what you would do is you would put parentheses around numbers that are not combined first. So if normally the exponents would be done first before multiplication, then try putting parentheses so that numbers will get multiplied before it gets raised to an exponent. So put parentheses around numbers that are not combined first and check to see if this is a solution. See if this actually gives you the answer you're trying for. And lastly, most importantly, don't give up, keep trying. A lot of this is going to be trial and error. Let's take a look at example 1. We have 6 times 2 plus 7 equals 54, and you're being asked to put parentheses in here so that the statement is true. Now, let's start by figuring out, okay, well, if I don't put parentheses, what would normally happen? Well, 6 times 2 is 12 plus 7 gives us 19. So naturally, using order of operations, you would do the 6 times 2 first. Now you can see here that this does not give us 54. So when you put in parentheses, you want to try forcing this expression to be simplified differently. So instead, I'm going to say, okay, well, the 2 plus the 7 won't be done first by PEMDAS unless I put parentheses around it. So I'm going to go ahead and try that. Let's put the 2 and the 7 in parentheses. And now we have 6 times 9, which does in fact equal 54. And so that's how you would want to put parentheses around the expression. All right, take a look at example 2. We have 3 times 8 plus 12 divided by 4 equals 33. So again, let's start by just seeing what happens if we applied PEMDAS here. So no parentheses, no exponents. We would do multiplication first because that is on the left. So 3 times 8 is 24. And then we would do the division next. That's 12 divided by 4, which is 3. So this would give me 24 plus 3, which is equal to 27. Okay, so you can see here that this does not equal what we have on the right there. So we're going to need to try different things so that instead of the 3 times the 8 and the 12 divided by 4, we put different numbers together first. So one natural thing to try is, let's put the 8 and the 12 together. So instead we're going to add first. So we have 3 times parentheses 8 plus 12 divided by 4. So this ends up being 3 times 20 divided by 4. And again, we're going to move from left to right to do multiplication and division. So 3 times 20 is 60 divided by 4, which is equal to 15. That's still not the right answer, but it did give us something different. So we know that we've tried something, and it does give us something different, but we need to try something else. Now, another thing you could try is, well, we've put the 8 and the 12 together, and we know if we put parentheses around the 3 and the 8, or the 12 and the 4, we're going to get the same thing. So try putting parentheses around more than just 2 numbers. You can try 3 numbers. So for example, since we know we move from left to right, why don't we put parentheses around the 3 numbers on the right so we deal with this part first before we multiply by 3. Now if we do this, we have 3 times, and then inside the parentheses we're going to do the division. So this is going to be 8 plus 3 inside the parentheses, and 8 plus 3, we have to do that because it's inside the parentheses first. So 3 times 11, and that's equal to 33. And so that gives us what we're trying to get on the right-hand side. And so that's how you would put the parentheses around that expression. All right, we'll do one more example. We have 20 divided by 2 times 5 minus 6 equals 5. All right, so again, let's start off by seeing what happens if we just applied PEMDAS to the expression on the left. So we have 20 divided by 2, which is 10. and then now we do the multiplication. Remember, multiplication and division is in order from left to right. So 10 times 5 is 50. So now we have 50 minus 6, which is equal to 44. So naturally you can see how the order of operations happens here. We did division first, and then we did the multiplication, and then we did the subtraction. So now let's see what we can do to change this a little bit and see if we can get this expression to equal 5. So let's try putting the 2 and the 5 inside the parentheses. So this forces you to do the multiplication first instead of the division. So this will definitely be different. This is 20 divided by 10 minus 6. And then you do the division. So we have 20 divided by 10, which is 2, minus 6. And that's equal to negative 4. Okay, we definitely got something different, but not exactly what we wanted. So we're going to have to try something else. Okay, so let's go ahead and try putting parentheses around something more to the right. Let's try the 5 minus 6. All right, so if we do that, we're going to do 5 minus 6 first, which is negative 1. Now we do multiplication and division from left to right, so 20 divided by 2, which is 10, and then multiply that by negative 1, which is negative 10. Still got something different, but still not the right answer. So now let's try putting parentheses around more than just 2 numbers. Let's try 3 numbers. So again, here, I'm going to try putting it around the 3 numbers on the right. So we have 20 divided by parentheses 2 times 5 minus 6. So now inside the parentheses, we'll do multiplication first. So 10 minus 6, which is equal to 4. And 20 divided by 4 is equal to 5. So this gives us what we wanted on the right-hand side. And so this is how we want to put the parentheses around this expression. Now notice that we did have to try a number of different things. And so, like I said, one of the most important steps here is to keep trying and not to give up.